Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are doing another Kaiju number 8 chapter review. Today we are going to be reviewing chapter 33, which is great. It's the beginning of a new arc, or it's the ending of the third arc that leads into the beginning of the fourth arc. Whatever the case, however you want to look at it, that's what it is. As always, we're going to do a recap section first, then we're going to do the discussion, and then if I come up with any theories by the time the video ends, I will talk about a theory that I have. However, I very much doubt that I'm going to get into anything because this chapter didn't really end up going the way I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to be one or two more chapters of talking to Kafka and kind of figuring out what the hell's going on with Kafka between Mina and Hoshina. And so far, it looks like that's not going to happen. What we're going to have instead is the characters talking separately from Kafka about how they feel, which is kind of interesting. I like it a little bit better, actually. But I'm not really sure. But that's it for the initial bit. Let's talk about the recap here. So last week, or actually almost like a month ago, or 3 weeks ago, I think, Kafka reveals himself to everyone in the third division in order to save them from the falling Kaiju Joju bomb thing that was falling on the Tachikawa base. So in order to, save them, he had to run up to the bomb and transform into Kaiju number 8, which scared everyone, and then punch it away. This caused problems with his teammates because, one, they're surprised. Two, their friend, who was really weak and kind of irrelevant to most of the people on the division, turns out to be this crazy powerful monster. So obviously he gets taken in. Mina is kind of surprised, kind of betrayed. We don't really know how she feels, but we know that she is not in a good mood. And that's how it ends. She tells Kafka that she's going to bring him in. And that's all we had. Now, this chapter, which is the beginning of the discussion section here, starts at JDF headquarters. We're not actually with Kafka. We're all the way in the center of Japan, I guess, in the Japan Defense Force headquarters with all of the top brass, all of the people in charge, which includes, I think Hoshina's dad was in there, and Kikoru's dad was in there as well as a few other guys that we haven't seen before. There was a guy with an eye patch, a guy that was bald that had a scar across his face, and then I think we had one that looked kind of like a doctor. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember everyone that was in there, but we definitely had Kikoru's dad, and I think someone that either went to talk to Hoshina's dad or Hoshina's dad himself. I can't remember. And basically they're deciding what to do. It's like one of those, movies where we see the military guys talking to the president about what the heck the move is, according to, whatever terrorist attack is happening at the time or whatever, right? And basically everyone suggests something. There's one dude that wants to render down Kafka for parts to use in the guns. There's a guy that wants to use Kafka as a biological weapon, which basically means that he'd be on a leash and they would just throw him at other kaiju, which might be what's gonna happen. And then we had another guy that wanted to tell everyone that what was happening, and then Kikoru's dad puts his foot down and he's like, no, we need Kafka here at headquarters right now. And that's what happens, right? So from there, we switch over to Kafka, who's in a secure facility in a chair with giant shackles on his arms. And he's basically being monitored. They're checking that he's not transforming, that he's not doing anything bad. We see Hoshina looking at him through the kind of computers and stuff, and checking to see that he's not doing anything. And we kind of see Kafka trying to figure out what's going on and what's going to happen to him, and is thinking about his team and Mina specifically, right? He's curious if she's mad, if she's going to give him a chance, if, he can still do what he needs to do and kind of maintain a relationship with Mina. And eventually transfer orders come in, and Mina is in charge of taking him to headquarters. So we get Kafka and Mina kind of interacting throughout most of this chapter. And Kafka wants to talk to her. He starts to say, but Mina, right? And then, a line, and basically he stops talking. And he's like, no, she probably hates me. I don't want to make her more angry than she already is. She probably hates me. There's nothing that I can do to make it better. I've ruined my chances of being friends with her, right? And, the thing is, she's probably going to be mad, and that's what I thought as I was reading as well. But we don't really get time to think about it because we get a scene shift again, and everyone's standing at attention. That nice girl with the light colored hair and the short bun is there. I can't remember her name, and she's at attention. She's telling everyone to be ready, and she tells Mina that everyone's ready for the escort trip, and are in position to follow her as she escorts Kafka to the headquarters. Kafka has a lot of guilt. He's looking around, but he can't meet anyone's eyes because he doesn't know what the heck is going to happen to him, and he knows that basically what Kafka is feeling is guilt because he knows that that Kikoru and Reno were watching out for him, and what he did was completely against what they were trying to do for him, and he kind of ruined all of the hard work that they put into helping him, not get caught. And, he's kind of spiraling down this kind of hole of guilt and this kind of horrible thought process of like people not caring about him anymore because he messed up and stuff like this. And what happens is that, Reno speaks up right as Kafka is about to get into the car. He says, "Sir." And then Kafka looks at him like, "Huh, what's going on?" And Reno, says, "No, I stand with you, Kafka. I appreciate you, and I know that you're going to come back soon, and I can't wait for you to come back." And I really like that. And Reno is such a good, like, younger brother type of character to Kafka that I really enjoy. And Kafka was kind of surprised, but he was happy, right? And eventually the doors get closed. Then Mina, in the moment of silence says, "Damn it, I'm going to need to punish him. He's going to have to do some push-ups for, like, insubordinate action for talking out of turn." And Kafka's a little bit confused. He doesn't really know exactly what's going on, but, he kind of stays quiet. Eventually, Mina starts talking again. She's like, "Kafka, it was super surprising when you did that shit, when you ran out there crazy and turned into a kaiju, and I hated it. I was afraid. I didn't really like it, right? Whatever." But then she says, but at the same time, she knew that everything was happening the way Kafka would have had it happen anyways. That Kafka running out there to try to save everyone and become the kaiju that he needed to be in order to do so was everything that Kafka would do. It was so him, right? And Kafka is kind of surprised. He doesn't understand what the point of it is, right? And she tells him, "Kafka, don't worry. We have information. We have testimonies. We have eyewitness accounts. We have all the information we need, and we're going to bring up the fact that you're a good officer as a way to try to help you not get, disintegrated or dismantled for parts, right? We're going to try to save you." She tells him, "Kafka, the 3rd Division stands with you." And I loved it. It was so good. This part of the chapter was really great. This part of the story is wonderful because we finally get to see Mina having an impact, not being this, mystical creature in the background that Kafka knows and that Kafka wants to be like, but that has no, opinion or any meaningful effect on the story beyond the fact that she's the end goal. So I really like that. I love that Mina is taking a stand and showing some character and developing herself as a strong person. And I really like that this actually kind of solves a bit of the issue. We know now that Mina doesn't hate Kafka, that Mina is not disappointed in Kafka. Mina is just a bit of a hard ass, and Kafka wasn't ready to kind of interact with her just yet. But now that they have an opportunity, she is interested in talking with him, and she knows that Kafka is a good man, and she's trying to help him. And I really appreciate that. I thought it was really good. Very well done from our mangaka here. And eventually she moves on and she starts, doing a bunch of military babble, trying to tell Kafka that, due to Article 13, whatever, you're under arrest. We're taking you to the base in order to keep civilians safe. Kafka interrupts. He says, "Mina, can I still reach you? Can I still try to get up to that level the same as you? And will you wait for me?" And Mina just says yes. She says, "Yeah, Kafka, I'll be waiting. I am looking forward to it." And I loved it. Oh my God, man. This was so good. It was the affirmation Kafka needed. Kafka reaffirms his belief in his dream all the time to himself, right? And Reno and Kikoru help him with that. But this is the first time that someone else affirms it for him. That Mina tells him, yes, Kafka, your dream is not in vain. I am waiting for you to come meet me at the top. And I loved it. I really appreciated it. I thought it was so good. I really loved that little scene. It made me, like, not tear up, but it got me in the feels, man. I was like, yeah, God damn it, Kafka, you're doing good, man. You're gonna get your queen. She's waiting for you, my man. I really appreciated it. I thought it was so good. It was so enjoyable. Just, we finally get to see Kafka kind of starting to achieve his dream, right? It's like the same thing where Naruto finally learns to walk on water, or when Naruto finally punches Haku in the face after, you know, Haku is beating the shit out of Sasuke, right? Or when Midoriya does the thing with the ball when he's throwing it, when he finally manages to control One For All enough to only break his finger, right? And when Eraserhead is like, this kid, right? It's so good. I love these parts of the story so much because there's so much like meaningful affirmation of our characters' goals, right? It's like the same feel that we get when Yami tells my boy Asta that he can be the Wizard King if he tries, as long as he joins the Black Bulls, right? Or like, that's not exactly what he says. He tells him to join the Black Bulls so he can try his hardest, so he can prove everyone wrong because he thinks it's interesting, right? It's the thing where other people believe in your dream that is so meaningful that I love so much. And especially in shonen manga, it's just so good. I really enjoyed it. But anyway, the last thing that happens is that Kafka ends up being locked up. And he's like in the center in a chair, and there's a giant room around him, which I guess was supposed to be like a containment unit that got kind of reconfigured in order to house a chair. And yeah, then we get a little bit of a text that says, start of Arc 4, Kaiju number 8 has been captured, which is cool. I think that means that we're having a new arc, which is cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We're talking theories now. So my theory is that what's going to happen next is that this arc is not going to be very kind of like action heavy. Like, we're still going to have action. We're going to probably see 3rd Division practicing. We're going to see them kind of trying to come up with ideas and ways to help Kafka out, but Kikuru's dad is not going to let them. And the whole time is going to be kind of like a waiting game, a thriller type of setup, a political thriller, a kind of like procedural type of thing, where we see Kafka just kind of like having to think and decide what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. And there's going to be a bunch of machinations going on around him that he's not going to be able to kind of work against, but that he's going to have to overcome at some point. And then we're probably going to have to set up some kind of fight between the 3rd Division and the JDF headquarters in order to try to get Kafka back. But I don't know if that's going to be possible, because that would be kind of really crap, because it wouldn't make it so that Kaiju can run around freely for a while the 3rd Division is fighting the JDF headquarters, right? So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but I definitely know that we're going to probably see something a lot lower pace than before. It's going to be a lot of a kind of character tension and development of different people. I'm interested to see what Hoshina and Mina are going to do, and Kikoru and Reno are going to have to join Hoshina and Mina a lot more closely, and we're probably going to see the start of like the main team, right? Because Kafka is kind of like the thing that connects them all, but now they have to work without Kafka in order to work together so that they can save him, and I'm really excited to see how this works. I'm just really looking forward to seeing what happens. But yeah, that's everything I have for you guys. If you want to see more videos on Kaiju number 8, I have a whole playlist that's in the end of the video, so just wait a couple of seconds or minutes and it should come up there. But yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and see you guys later.